Hello, Tom, aka Gedeon here for Tabletop Tap Room. And we're going to do just a quick review of a game that was sent to me by an anonymous donor. So there was an implied promise that I would review it, and I want to keep that implied promise. And the game is Dungeon Crawl. I know some of you are groaning like, oh, please. I know. We'll just get this in and get it done. So Dungeon Crawl was printed by Delano Games of Battle Creek, Michigan. And I can say that the board they printed is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking board. A lot of the other components are, they put in wooden playing pieces and stuff like that, which I really felt like they should have put in miniatures. It's not that hard to get them 3D printed by a game designer, game publisher. I mean, I'm thinking of somebody right now just told me they bought a big, printer just for doing this very thing. So, it was kind of disappointing on that side. But I can tell you that the components that were printed and made by Delano Games, Battle Creek, Michigan, spot on. The board is absolutely gorgeous. But there are three major problems with this game. Number one, it's not retail ready. That means it is not ready to go into a retail environment and be sold at a store. And the reason is the total lack of editing within the game. It is a mess. Not only that, the rules are written. It's as if a chimpanzee on crack cocaine wrote the rules. They are a mess as well, just in how they're laid out and sentence structure and fragments. And again, that kind of goes back to the editing, but it's really more than editing. It's wow. It's just something else. And then there's content in the game that is not age appropriate. They put on the game their whole TSR meter that it's appropriate for 10 years old and 10 years and up. And yet there's components within the game that are inappropriate for 10-year-old use. So the game is definitely not retail ready. It is not playable. There is no player character record sheet in the game, even though you need it for regular play. Now, I reached out to the game designer and queried him about this, and he was like, well, there's kind of a messy, poorly designed character sheet on their server. The problem with that being is that the typical standard operating procedure at New TSR is they ban and block anyone who questions them at all. I mean, you could ask Justin whether he had tea or coffee for the morning and he would ban you. Now, I know that's an exaggeration, but it's not far off. It is not far off based off of some people's experience. So it's there, but it's kind of irritating that you pay so much for a game and you don't get all the components you need to play it. Plus we put it on the website. Yeah, but you block people left and right, so there are going to bound to be people who cannot get it, cannot download it. So the game designer actually offered to provide me with a character sheet that he designed for the game that was easier to use, better design, yada, yada, yada. And I said, no, I says, your involvement with this game ended when you received payment for it. And I know you're taking flack because you sold it, but you didn't know you had a game. It was for sale. You were looking to sell it, and you did. Your involvement with it ended at that point. So, I know that there's been some criticism and flack of him recently. It's kind of unwarranted. The guy's done with the game. He's not involved. And he was gracious enough to offer this player character sheet to me. And I was like, I really don't care. I mean, this game is so unplayable. So not only do you not have the player character sheet, when you try to play the game, two of the player characters that Justin introduced to the game are Sir Elmore and Lady Betty. We believe Lady Betty is named after Larry Elmore's wife. So it's Lady Betty, as a player character, has a 20% chance to instantly kill anyone. Sir Elmore, he can make any card or monster not attack him, and then he has a 33% chance to force it to attack another player. So these two cards, these two player characters are so overpowered, they make the game ridiculous unless you're playing them. And I mean, honestly, it kind of makes the game ridiculous. Like, I'm going to auto win. I'm going to play one of these so that I'm guaranteed to win. That's just stupid. It makes the game absolutely unplayable. Now, let's do a little share screen. What happened here? There we go. So these are photos that are being shared by Mick Mickart, who announces he's with Ernie Gary Gygax. Now, there's been some dispute that whether or not Ernie was there and he was just tagging Ernie. There's been some dispute, about whether these people really purchased it. That some people allege that it has the quality of a kidnapped hostages holding up a newspaper type of photo, which I think is funny. But look, they're publishing this photo and saying, "Hey, we sold it at this street fair." And Ernie and Mick McArt have been selling these games at. So this wasn't announced. Now you watch this. This is July 3rd. They've sold one to these three gentlemen. And this is July 14th. They sold one to this couple. And they announced sold another dungeon crawl at the Wyandotte Street Fair. Only one left in stock. Who will be the lucky one to get it? Head on down. You're the next contestant on the grift is right. And then we get this from the 15th. This gentleman here. Dungeon crawl sold out. Luckily, my box games. Da 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 da. So Mick McArt's apparently also selling his games as well. So they're announcing that the game has sold out. Now, this is problematic. Why? This is problematic because these games had pre-orders. They've sold the pre-orders that people paid good money for that let them get this game printed. You see, people paid money, pre-ordered to get the game. I mean, Justin's own father, who pre-ordered a copy of Dungeon Crawl, admitted to us when he came and joined in the discussion on Tenkar's Tavern that he did not even have his pre-order copy all these months later. So all this money has been spent for the pre-orders. They used it to get the game printed. They never shipped it out. It's been excused. Oh, it was a problem with the printer. Oh, you blame. Meanwhile, they're selling them at all the local cons, the local Comic-Con, and all these local cons, and was even sold at Dave Con, and now the street fair, and now it's sold out. So people are being defrauded of what they paid good money for. Now, my copy was, again, it was sent to me by an anonymous donor, and I thanked him for that, and I'm fulfilling my implied promise that I would do a review of the game. And this is it. But I just want to cover this situation that is, because this is just some kind of wrong. And, I don't know, but if I had been defrauded of my pre-order, they used the money that I paid them to get their game printed, and then they turned around and sold my copy of the game at street fairs and Dave Con and Comic-Con, and I would make a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. I mean, this here is the Better Business Bureau serving Wisconsin. There's an email and a phone number here. I think I'll put links in the show notes. But I think if I had been defrauded, I would make a complaint to the Better Business Bureau. And I think I also, since attorney generals kind of deal with civil court things, I might consider contacting the Attorney General's office in Madison, Wisconsin. They've got a phone number and a fax, and just file a complaint about fraud, because there's definitely, it looks like fraud is going on here. I'm no expert, no lawyer, only played one in a RPG once, but it looks like fraud. But again, I don't know. So I don't know. I think I would try calling if I was the one being defrauded. That's something I would consider. I want to thank the anonymous donor who sent me a copy of the game. I really appreciate that. Uh, because you're out money for your copy of the game. But again, we've already established it is not playable. It's not a retail ready product. It's a mess. And rumor has it, I've reached out to Delano Games. Rumor has it, they refuse to work with new TSR. And I've reached out to Delano Games and I've not gotten a confirmation. Asked them to confirm or deny it. They have not answered me. I don't know if they're going to answer me. I don't know if they're going to go on record publicly, but I heard that rumor, and so I've tried to confirm it. Uh, you know, it looks like Justin's shopping around for a publisher. Hence the Ernie post claiming that Wizard Tower Games was uh, doing the second printing, and then Wizard Tower Games was like, "Excuse me, no, we're not," and take that post down. And then there was an even more pointed post by them on Twitter. So yeah, it looks like he's shopping for a printer. And again, the game, it's now out of stock. And judging by the way Star Frontier's New Genesis, if we take them at their face value, has been out of stock since last October. You could wait a long time on Dungeon Crawl being out of stock. Your pre-orders could, you might be collecting Social Security or something before you get your pre-order from them. I don't know. I mean, I would start complaining. I'd start asking for my money back. That's just me. So, again, Tom from Tabletop Taproom. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my subscribers. Thanks to the anonymous donor. And keep on gaming, just not with this game.